The hidden power of the mind. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Take a moment and let that quote sink in. It's more than just a catchy line. It's a timeless truth that has shaped destinies, launched empires, and redefined what's possible. The real battlefield of life isn't in the outside world. It's not the economy, the government, or the competition. It's within you. Right between your ears lies the most powerful tool in the universe, the human mind. And the way you use it determines whether you survive or thrive, whether you merely exist or rise to your full potential. Here's the question that few dare to ask. Why are imagination and belief enough to unlock greatness? Because they are the blueprint and the fuel. Imagination gives you the vision. It's the place where your dreams are first born. Every building, every invention, every movement that has ever changed the world started in someone's mind. Before the light bulb lit the world, it lit up in Edison's imagination. Before the first rocket escaped Earth's gravity, it launched from the dreams of visionaries. Imagination allows you to see what does not yet exist, and that is the beginning of creation. But imagination alone is not enough. You must believe. Belief turns that vision into a mission. It's the inner conviction that whispers, yes, it's possible, and yes, it's for me. Belief is the bridge between thinking and doing, between dreaming and building. Without belief, the greatest dreams die unborn. But with belief, the impossible becomes inevitable. Every achievement, no matter how massive or miraculous, began as an invisible thought in the mind of someone who dared to imagine and chose to believe. Think about it. The Wright brothers believed humans could fly when the world mocked them. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in equality when hatred ruled the streets. Steve Jobs believed in changing the way we live and think through technology when no one else saw it. They were not lucky. They were not superhuman. They were simply aware of one great truth. The mind creates reality, and so can yours. You already hold within you the seed of something powerful, a vision, a spark, a dream that refuses to die. You may not know how it will happen. That's okay. You don't need all the answers. You just need to believe in your ability to figure it out, to take the next step, to trust the process. The moment you align your imagination with unshakable belief, you activate something unstoppable inside you. That's when doors begin to open. That's when energy shows up. That's when life responds to the power of your intention. So don't shrink your dreams to fit your current reality. Expand your belief to match your vision. Because if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, your life can achieve it. Conceive everything begins as a thought. Everything you see around you was once invisible. Look around, your phone, the clothes you're wearing, the building you're in, the lights above you, even the chair beneath you. Every single thing began as a thought, a spark of imagination in someone's mind. It didn't exist until it did. That's the miraculous power of conception. That's the power of the mind to create. You see, we often look at successful people, inventions, or movements and assume they were inevitable, that they were always going to happen. But they weren't. They were once fragile, uncertain, almost laughable ideas until someone chose to hold on to them long enough, fiercely enough, to breathe them into existence. Every achievement begins with one powerful moment, the decision to imagine. Imagination is not child's play. It's life's blueprint. When we were children, imagination came easily. We could build castles from pillows, turn sticks into swords, and rule empires made of nothing but cardboard and crayons. But somewhere along the way, most people traded imagination for reality. They stopped dreaming and started doubting. That trade is deadly, because imagination isn't just for artists, musicians, or filmmakers. It's not just for daydreamers or idealists. Imagination is the starting point of every solution, every breakthrough, and every success story. Want to build a business? You need imagination. Want to reinvent your life? You need imagination. Want to break cycles, create wealth, inspire others, change the world? It all starts in the same place, inside your mind. Without imagination, nothing new is born. With it, nothing is out of reach. Thoughts become things. This may sound cliche, but it's a truth too many ignore. What you think about, you bring about. Thoughts have energy. What you repeatedly picture in your mind starts to shape your emotions, your choices, and eventually your reality. Your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. Picture a farmer. They don't expect crops to grow where they haven't planted seeds. Yet people go through life expecting success, love, wealth, health, and fulfillment without planting any intentional thoughts about them. If you never take the time to imagine your future, don't be surprised when you default into someone else's design. You must become the architect of your mind. You must choose your thoughts with care. You must conceive a vision of the life you want to live, not the one others expect of you, not the one that seems realistic, but the one that sets your soul on fire. Because the world makes room for those who declare what they want. How to train the mind to conceive bold visions. Let's get practical. How do you train your mind to dream again, to imagine with clarity and power? 1. Write down what you truly want, not what's expected of you, not what's safe. What do you actually want? Write it down in detail. Describe it vividly. The lifestyle, the impact, the feeling. Writing clarifies vision. It turns foggy ideas into solid form. 2. Use the power of visualization. Olympic athletes use this. CEOs use it. Artists use it. Visualization is the practice of seeing the outcome you desire as if it's already real. Close your eyes and imagine. What does your ideal life look like? What sounds do you hear? What emotions are flowing through you? What does success feel like? You're not just picturing, you're programming. The mind doesn't know the difference between vividly imagined experience and reality. Use that to your advantage. 3. Feel it fully. Emotion is what makes a vision magnetic. Don't just see the dream, feel it. Let your heart beat faster. Let your body tingle. Let your soul smile. When your vision becomes emotionally real to you, it starts pulling you toward it. That's the law of focus and attraction at work. 4. Protect the seed. Once you've conceived a powerful vision, protect it. Don't share it with everyone too early. Some people can't see what you see, and that's okay. Their doubt shouldn't become your reality. A seed grows best in rich soil, not in toxic ground. So feed your mind daily with belief, clarity, and courage. Nurture your ideas with daily thought, energy, and intention. Greatness is conceived in silence. You don't need permission to dream big. You don't need approval to imagine something that's never existed. In fact, most of history's greatest achievements were first laughed at or rejected. The light bulb? Impossible. Flight? Insanity. The internet? Useless. Space travel? Fantasy. But someone dared to imagine, and that was enough to change everything. The boldest visions are often born in solitude. When the world is quiet and the noise is gone, that's when the soul whispers truth. You have access to that same inner place. The only question is, will you take time to listen? Will you pause long enough to picture something greater for yourself, your family, your life? Because if you don't decide your vision, the world will decide it for you. The courage to conceive something bigger. Let's be honest, it takes courage to imagine big, because as soon as you picture something extraordinary, your fear will show up. It will whisper, who are you to think you can do that? You're not qualified, you've failed before. Be realistic. But remember, fear is loudest when you're close to the edge of growth. The bigger the dream, the louder the resistance. That's not a sign to stop. It's a signal to push forward. You don't have to know how everything will work. You only need to say, this is the life I see, this is the future I choose, this is the dream I'm willing to build. Real-world examples. Everything started as a thought. Steve Jobs imagined a world where everyone held a personal computer in their hand. Nelson Mandela envisioned a free South Africa while in prison for 27 years. Oprah Winfrey saw herself speaking to millions long before she had a stage. Malala envisioned education for every girl while bullets flew past her. They weren't born with superpowers. They simply dared to conceive something greater and refused to let go. Your turn to imagine. So, what about you? What's the vision hiding inside you? What's the idea that's been tugging at your spirit? What kind of life can you see when no one's judging, when fear is silent, when logic takes a back seat? Imagine freely, imagine fully. Don't shrink your dreams to fit your current conditions. Grow your belief to match your dream. Because if your mind can conceive it with clarity and emotion, and your heart can believe it with conviction, then your hands can absolutely achieve it with action. Everything begins as a thought. And today you get to choose the kind of thoughts you'll allow to shape your future. Believe, the bridge between vision and reality. Imagination gives birth to the dream, but belief is what gives it permission to live. You can have the most beautiful vision in the world. You can close your eyes and picture the life you want in vivid color. You can describe it in detail, feel the emotions, hear the applause, taste the success. But if deep down you don't believe it's possible for you, you'll never take the first real step. And that's the tragedy. It's not a lack of talent that kills most dreams, it's a lack of belief. Belief is the trigger that turns thoughts into action. You don't act on what you don't believe. It's that simple. If you don't believe you're capable, you won't try. If you don't believe it will work, you won't commit. If you don't believe you deserve better, you'll keep settling for less. The reason belief is so powerful is because it activates your system. When you believe something is possible, your brain starts looking for evidence to support it. You begin noticing opportunities. You attract resources. You unlock creativity. You're more willing to take risks, face discomfort, and keep going when things get hard. Belief pulls the vision out of the clouds and anchors it in motion. That's why it's the bridge. You start with the dream, but to build a real path toward it, you must believe. You don't need evidence, you need conviction. One of the biggest lies we've been taught is that we have to see it to believe it. But the truth is, you have to believe it long before you see it. Anyone can believe after the success has happened. Anyone can clap when the victory is done. But champions believe before the trophy. They believe before the crowd. They believe before the breakthrough. Belief is not logical, it's spiritual. It's the ability to stand in the middle of uncertainty and still say, I know this is possible. You don't need to know how. You need to decide yes. Once you believe, the how begins to reveal itself. What you believe about yourself shapes everything. Here's the truth. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe. If you believe you're not smart enough, you'll sabotage opportunities. If you believe you're destined to struggle, you'll overlook chances to grow. If you believe money is evil, success is selfish, or you're undeserving of joy, your life will reflect those beliefs, no matter how hard you try. But when you shift your inner beliefs, your outer world shifts with it. That's why real transformation doesn't start on the outside, it starts inside. Ask yourself, what do I really believe about my worth? What do I believe I deserve? What do I believe I'm capable of? And where did those beliefs even come from? Most of our limiting beliefs weren't chosen, they were absorbed from teachers, parents, culture, failure, or fear. But here's the good news. If a belief was learned, it can be unlearned. And if it was installed, it can be rewritten. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are simply living according to a belief system you may not have questioned until now. Building unshakable belief. Belief is not a switch, it's a muscle. And just like any muscle, it grows stronger with use. If you want to believe in yourself at a higher level, here's how you train that belief daily. 1 affirmation. Speak it until you see it. Words shape identity. The most powerful voice you'll ever hear is your own. Start speaking your beliefs out loud before the evidence shows up. I am worthy. I am focused. I am unstoppable. I attract opportunities. I am becoming the person who makes this dream real. Say it with emotion. Say it every day. Say it until your mind starts to believe you. Nart 2. Environment. Protect your mental soil. Seeds grow in the right environment. So do beliefs. Surround yourself with people who remind you of what's possible, not just what's practical. Read books, listen to mentors, watch stories that fuel belief. Limit conversations with those who only know how to doubt. You're not being rude, you're being responsible. Your vision is too valuable to expose to constant criticism. 3. Action. Let small wins build inner proof. Confidence doesn't come from yelling affirmations in the mirror alone. It comes from doing. Each small step you take builds evidence for your belief. Start small. Stay consistent. Let your progress reinforce your potential. You don't need to go from 0 to hero overnight. Just get 1% better every day. Momentum feeds belief, and belief feeds momentum. Belief in the dark when everything looks impossible. There will be seasons when nothing's working. no results, no recognition, no signs of progress. And in those moments, the voice of doubt will scream, "It's not working. You're wasting your time. You should quit." That's when belief matters most. Belief in the light is easy. You slay. Belief in the dark is rare. And that's what separates leaders from dreamers. Can you still trust your vision when no one claps? Can you keep building when the path feels invisible? Remember, just because you don't see the seed sprouting doesn't mean it's not growing. Roots grow underground first. Belief is knowing that just because the miracle hasn't shown up yet, doesn't mean it's not on the way. Examples of unshakable belief. Thomas Edison believed he could create the electric light, even after failing over 1,000 times. Oprah Winfrey believed in her voice, even after being fired from her first job. J.K. Rowling believed in her story, even after 12 publishers rejected her. Michael Jordan believed he was great, even after being cut from his high school team. They weren't magical, they weren't lucky. They simply believed when it was easier to give up. So the question is, can you? Your life will rise to the level of your belief. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to believe that something greater is possible and that it's meant for you. If your belief is small, your actions will be timid. If your belief is shaky, your results will be unstable. But if your belief is bold, your actions will follow, and so will the breakthrough. Your belief is your permission slip. It says, yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm worth it. Yes, I'm building this dream, no matter how long it takes. You don't need the world to believe in you. You just need you. Because when one person believes fully in a dream, that dream becomes contagious. That belief becomes energy. That energy becomes movement. And that movement becomes reality. Believe first, the rest will follow. So here's your challenge. Don't wait for evidence. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for perfect timing. Believe now. Believe when it's hard. Believe when you're tired. Believe when no one's watching. Believe when everything inside you says, play small. Because once belief is anchored, the game changes. You'll walk differently. You'll speak differently. You'll create, lead, and show up with a different fire. And the world, sooner or later, will rise to meet the level of your belief. So decide now. Whatever your mind conceived and your heart truly believes, your hands can achieve. Believe it, live it, become it. Achieve results, bringing thoughts into reality. A dream without action is only a fantasy. A vision without movement is just a wish. And belief, no matter how deep or passionate, means nothing unless it is followed by consistent, relentless action. This is where so many people get stuck. They imagine something beautiful. They even believe it's possible, but they never take the steps to bring it to life. They wait until the timing feels right, until they feel more confident, until someone else gives them permission. But achievement doesn't wait. Success doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards movement. 1. The power of consistent action. We often overestimate what we can do in a day and wildly underestimate what we can accomplish over months and years of consistent action. That's the true difference between those who merely dream and those who achieve. They don't act only when they feel motivated. They don't take one big leap and hope it sticks. They commit to showing up every single day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, because they know belief without action is powerless. Discipline and persistence are the twin engines of achievement. Discipline is the decision to do what matters, even when it's inconvenient. Persistence is the decision to keep going, even when it's uncomfortable. Together, they form the backbone of greatness. 2. Turn your mindset into an action system. It's one thing to have the right mindset, to think positively, to visualize success, to affirm your goals. But mindset alone won't take you there. You must build a system, a daily operating rhythm that turns your beliefs into behavior, your goals into habits, your motivation into measurable movement. Here's how. A. Build habits that align with your goals. Forget willpower. Forget waiting for motivation. The real key is habit, systems, structures. Want to be healthy? Make exercise non-negotiable in your routine. Want to write a book? Block time every morning and write, even if it's 100 words. Want to build wealth? Track your spending, automate your savings, learn about investment every week. Success is not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently. And especially B. Focus on the process, not just the outcomes. If your only motivation is the result, you'll quit the moment results are delayed. But if you fall in love with the process, the grind, the repetition, the self-mastery, then you'll keep moving even when success feels far away. Train yourself to ask, what's my system today? What can I control right now? Am I acting in alignment with who I want to become? Because outcomes are just side effects of disciplined processes. C. Habitual C. Apply the compound effect. Here's one of the most powerful principles in achievement. Small, smart steps done daily compound into massive results. Do 20 push-ups every day for a month. Your body changes. Write 1 page a day for a year. You'll have a book. Read 10 pages a night. You'll finish 12 books a year. Invest consistently. You build financial independence. It's not sexy, it's not dramatic, but the compound effect works. Every time. Big change doesn't come from huge leaps. It comes from daily deposits into your vision, from becoming the kind of person who shows up when others quit. 3. Achievement is a mirror of inner belief. Here's the beautiful truth. Your results will always reflect your inner beliefs, not your talent, not your circumstances, not your resources, your belief and your willingness to act on it. Because everything you achieve on the outside is born from what you first nurtured inside. Let's look at some real-world giants who proved this formula. Thomas Edison didn't just invent the light bulb. He tested over 1,000 times. His belief in the idea and his refusal to stop birthed the result. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest because of raw talent alone. He trained longer, failed more, and practiced harder than anyone else. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, turned $5,000 into $1 billion company because she believed in her idea and kept taking action, even after being told no over and over again. They lived the formula: clear vision, deep belief, relentless action equals achievement. This is not motivational fluff. This is how things are built. This is how lives are transformed. This is how ordinary people create extraordinary outcomes. The price of greatness is repetition. We often glamorize success as this glamorous, exciting, viral event. But in truth, achievement is repetitive, it's unglamorous, it's often lonely. It looks like waking up early when you'd rather sleep, writing your business plan while others party, practicing your craft when nobody's clapping, learning from failures and showing up again the next day. The world only sees the highlight reel. They see the book launch, the championship, the product release, but they don't see the quiet hours behind the scenes, the doubts you pushed through, the work you did when it was cold, quiet, and unrewarded. But that's where greatness is forged. That's where your identity is built. So the real question is not, are you good enough? The real question is, can you stay in the game long enough for your vision to become real? How to stay consistent when the fire fades. Even the most motivated person will lose spark sometimes. That's normal. Here's how to keep going. 1. Reconnect to your why. Remind yourself why this matters. Write it down. Speak it out loud. What pain are you running from? What future are you running toward? Purpose fuels consistency. 2. Set micro targets. Don't aim for the mountain all at once. Aim for the next step. A page a day, a rep at a time, 1 phone call, 1 decision. Keep it small but consistent. 3. Track and celebrate progress. Achievement is not one massive event. It's thousands of tiny wins. Track them. Celebrate them. You don't wait until the final chapter to feel proud of the book. You celebrate every page. Let your progress energize your persistence. Your life is the result of what you achieve daily. Here's the hard truth. You are not your potential. You are your habits. You are your systems. You are your decisions repeated over time. The version of you that you dream of becoming, they don't just think differently, they act differently. They show up. They don't wait for the perfect day. They don't seek perfection, they seek consistency. And that's what builds a life of achievement. From thought to reality, your blueprint for success. Let's put it all together. You had a vision, you imagined it, you dared to believe it. Now it's time to build it. Brick by brick, day by day, step by step. Clear vision gives you direction. Belief gives you fuel. Action gives you momentum, and consistency gives you results. So the next time you wonder if your dream is possible, don't just ask, can I? Ask instead, am I showing up today as the person who does? Because The life you want is not a fantasy, it's a formula, and it's waiting to be built by you. Mental barriers and how to overcome them. Every great journey, whether it's building a business, transforming your health, writing a book, or changing your life, starts with inspiration, a spark, a dream, a belief. But then come the barriers, not external ones, not first, the internal ones, the silent ones, the ones that live in your mind. Most people never fail because they lack talent, time, or opportunity. They fail because of what's happening inside. Self-doubt, procrastination, negative influences. These are the invisible chains that keep dreams locked in the mind and never let them reach the world. But once you learn how to identify these mental barriers and build tools to break through them, you unlock a version of yourself you didn't even know was possible. 1. Self-doubt, the silent dream killer. Self-doubt doesn't scream, it whispers. It tells you maybe you're not ready yet. It says you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. It shows up disguised as logic. I need more time. Maybe this isn't the right season. Let me just do a little more research. And just like that, you delay, you hesitate, you shrink. Here's the truth. Self-doubt is not based on facts. It's based on fear. Fear of failure. Fear of being judged. Fear of actually succeeding and not knowing what comes next. Millions of dreams have died with the sentence, "I'm not good enough." And that's the real tragedy, because you don't need to be perfect to begin. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to believe that you're capable of growing through the process. How to overcome self-doubt. A. Talk back to the inner critic. The voice in your head isn't always right. When it says you can't, respond, "Who says?" When it says you'll fail, ask, "What if I succeed?" Reframe your self-talk. Make your inner dialogue your ally, not your enemy. B. Stack evidence of capability. Make a list of every challenge you've overcome, every skill you've learned, every time you surprised yourself. Self-doubt fades when evidence builds. C. Act before you're ready. Confidence is not the requirement for action. It's the result of it. You don't wait for belief to grow. You build it through movement. 2. Procrastination and lack of discipline. The slow poison. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's often fear in disguise. It's the brain trying to avoid discomfort, failure, or uncertainty. So instead of writing the book, you scroll. Instead of making the call, you clean your desk. Instead of starting the business, you binge another video on how to start a business. You trick yourself into feeling productive while actually staying stuck. And the worst part? Procrastination doesn't kill dreams instantly. It kills them slowly, quietly, silently. One delayed decision at a time, one ignored priority after another. Discipline is the cure, but not the kind of discipline that comes from punishing yourself. The kind that comes from building structure, one small, repeatable habit at a time. How to overcome procrastination and build discipline. A. Shrink the task. Don't start with write a book. Start with write one sentence. Don't start with build a business. Start with send one email. Momentum starts with movement, not perfection. Make the first step so small that it feels ridiculous to avoid. B. Create micro routines. Discipline doesn't come from occasional intensity. It comes from daily consistency. A 10-minute morning ritual, a 25-minute focused work session, a 5-minute end-of-day reflection. Systems win when motivation fades, and when your brain learns that this is just what we do, you stop negotiating with yourself. C. Track and reward. Behavior that gets tracked improves. Behavior that gets rewarded repeats. Use a habit tracker. Celebrate progress. Recognize effort, not just results. Discipline is a skill. You don't have to be born with it. You just have to train it like a muscle. Stash 3. Toxic environments and social influence. The energy drain. You could have the clearest vision, the strongest belief, and even the willingness to act. But if you're surrounded by people who drain your energy, question your dream, and doubt your journey, your progress will always feel heavy. This is one of the most overlooked factors in success. Your environment is shaping you more than your intention is. Every day, you are absorbing messages from the people around you. Some are empowering. You got this. I believe in you. Others are disempowering. That's risky. That'll never work. And energy is contagious. If you hang around people who complain, blame, and fear, you start adopting their lens. But if you surround yourself with action takers, creators, and believers, you rise with them. How to overcome toxic influence. A. Audit your circle. Ask yourself, who makes me feel more alive? Who drains my focus and belief? Who pushes me toward growth? Then make the hard but necessary decisions. You don't need to cut people off entirely, but you do need to protect your energy. B. Curate your inputs. What you watch, read, and listen to is shaping your mind. If you constantly consume negativity, drama, and fear, you'll start thinking the same. Be intentional with your mental diet. Replace gossip with growth. Replace comparison with education. Replace outrage with action. C. Create a powerful support system. You don't have to do it alone. Find a coach, join a mastermind, start a group with like-minded people. Choose friends who hold you to a higher standard, people who remind you who you are on the days you forget. Your environment should water your potential, not drain it. Final thoughts. Conquer the inner world to change the outer world. Success isn't about being superhuman. It's about being self-aware. It's about knowing that the greatest enemy you'll ever face isn't out there. It's in here, in your thoughts, your patterns, your programming. But here's the breakthrough. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who gets to choose them. You are not your past patterns. You are the one who gets to reprogram them. Every time you choose belief over doubt, every time you take a small step instead of procrastinating, every time you distance yourself from negative energy and protect your peace, you are winning. Not in a loud, flashy way, but in the most important way. You are reclaiming the power of your mind. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep showing up. Keep choosing growth, keep choosing courage over comfort. Because on the other side of your mental barriers is the life you were meant to live, and you are closer than you think. The formula to manifest your vision: dreams, clarity plus belief, repetitions, action, persistence equals reality. This isn't just a feel-good mantra, it's a formula, a framework to turn what lives in your imagination into something you can hold in your hands. It's how ideas become income, how visions become ventures, how silent prayers become powerful progress. Let's break it down and bring it to life. Not 1, dream clarity. Know exactly what you want. Every manifestation begins with a dream, not just any dream, but your dream, not a recycled vision from society, not what your parents, teachers, or peers expect from you, but what lights you up, what keeps you awake at night, what your soul keeps whispering when the world is quiet. But dreaming is only the beginning. Clarity is what gives your dream shape. Clarity turns a wish into a goal. It defines the destination so the journey becomes possible. Don't just say, I want success. Define it. Don't just hope for freedom. Describe what that life looks like, where you live, how you feel, who you serve, how you move. Write it down. Describe it in detail. The more specific your dream, the stronger your GPS becomes. Without clarity, you wander. With clarity, you manifest. 2, belief, repetition. Rewire the mind. Once you're clear on what you want, your next step is to believe it's possible for you. Not for people like you, for you. Belief is the internal permission slip. It gives your vision the green light. But belief is not automatic. You must build it. And the tool is repetition. You don't reprogram your mind once. You do it daily. How? A, visualization. Every day, close your eyes and see it. Feel it, smell it, live it. Imagine the moment your dream becomes real. What are you doing? Who's around you? What does it feel like in your body? Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagined experience and real experience. So when you visualize repeatedly, you're training your brain to believe, and belief shapes behavior. Speak affirmations out loud. Your words carry energy, so stop whispering your dreams and start declaring them. I am building the life I envision. I am worthy of success, love, and abundance. I take action daily toward my vision. I am unstoppable. The more you repeat, the more your mind aligns. Repetition is how you build new patterns, and belief is the fire that makes them stick. 3, action, persistence. Build your dream brick by brick. Clarity and belief are the inner engine, but action is the vehicle. Without action, even the boldest dream stays stuck in your journal. You must move, and not just once, daily, relentlessly, consistently. That's where persistence comes in, because action without consistency leads to burnout, but action with persistence leads to breakthrough. Here's how to stay in motion. A, build simple systems. Don't rely on motivation. Rely on structure. Set routines that make action automatic. Block time on your calendar. Set reminders. Stack new habits onto existing ones. Create a system that makes progress inevitable. Track your growth. You can't improve what you don't measure. Track your daily steps, weekly milestones, monthly wins. Even your smallest gains are proof of momentum. C, adjust with intention. Don't get rigid. If something isn't working, pivot, not quit. The dream stays the same. The strategy can evolve. Persistence doesn't mean stubbornness. It means staying committed to the outcome while being flexible with the path. Manifestation is not magic. It's alignment. True manifestation isn't sitting in silence, waiting for miracles to drop from the sky. It's about alignment. Aligning your dream with your daily decisions. Aligning your beliefs with your behavior. Aligning your emotions with your actions. When you dream clearly, believe deeply, act daily, and persist through obstacles, reality begins to shift. Your external life begins to match your internal vision. That's not magic, that's mastery. So let's revisit the formula. Dream clarity, know exactly what you want and define it in vivid detail. Belief repetition, rewire your mind daily through visualization and affirmations. Action persistence, build systems, show up consistently and refuse to stop until it's real. Reality, this is how visions manifest, not someday, not if you're lucky, but when you decide. Because the formula doesn't work only for special people. It works for intentional people. It works for you. Conclusion. Reality is a shadow of mindset. Everything you've achieved or failed to achieve began not in the world around you, but in the world within you. Every accomplishment begins in the mind. Before the action, before the applause, before the result, there was a thought, a whisper, a vision, a belief. That's why your mindset is not just important, it is everything. The limits you feel, they're first imagined. The breakthroughs you chase, they're first conceived. The future you create, it's first believed in. Never underestimate the power of a well-timed belief. Just one belief, deep, firm, and unshakable, can change your direction, your habits, your results, and ultimately, your life. If you can imagine something so clearly that it feels real, and believe in it so deeply that it fuels your actions, then nothing, no fear, no failure, no rejection can stop you from achieving it. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of your reality, and your reality is simply a shadow cast by your mindset. So here's the final challenge. Dare to imagine something so big it scares you, something so bold it makes your heart race, something so meaningful that it ignites your soul. Then take the first step, even if it's small, even if you're afraid. Because the bridge from fear to freedom is built one courageous action at a time. The world you want begins with the thoughts you allow. So choose boldly, dream vividly, believe fiercely, and never forget, you have the power to reshape your reality because you have the power to rewire your mind. And that right there is your greatest superpower.